Okay, so as we head towards the end, it only remains for me, well, there's a couple of things still to do, but very, very importantly, we need a conclusion. We need an overview of Portuguese policy, our hosts, Portugal, of developments, results, and the forum conclusions. And we are going to invite the Secretary of State for Tourism of Portugal, Rita Marques, to oversee that. Our host.
Well, I will have a hard job after these two guys on the stage, so thank you so much for the very crispy conclusions, that's for sure. Well, I will talk a little bit about the Portuguese situation, but after what happened during these two very inspiring and enriching 2 days, I am obliged to somehow sum up three very crispy message that I guess that came out from this several panels that we had the pleasure to listen to and somehow to participate in. The first message that I'd like very much to share with you is what happened in the first two panels, because we saw that tourism, or we concluded tourism can really heal the planet. Tourism, we know that's an industry that makes people happy, that makes people celebrate and meet, and I'm really happy to have you here in Évora, shaking hands and smiling even behind the masks. But tourism, I guess that all of us agree that is much more than this, right? And the sector really can make huge commitment to heal the planet. In what way? So basically, what can we do for the planet? We thought, after listening to the Christian and his peer, we know that we should leave Évora with a mission, right? To educate, to empower for next generations, to choose, because there is always two options, right? Left and right, going back, moving forward. And so we need to commit ourselves to take an option, to act. And that's why I say that we have this power to implement good stuff, to do well, and to make a positive impact for the world. Because, guys, there is no traveling if there is no planet, that's for sure. So I would like very much to highlight this big message. Christian was presenting, the Sustainability Act, the call for action. I would say in my first message that yes, environment is of course important. I would add two extra layers to that. The first one is social dimension, because we know that tourism have a lot of liabilities, and this pandemic showed us that nothing is for granted, and that's for sure. But as any other business, we should have a three-perspective approach. So first, environmental, that's for sure. Second, social dimension, so we need to include more people, gender balance, all that, that's for sure. How can we foster our people? How can we include our workers? How can we contribute to our better inclusive growth? And there's a third dimension that deals with governance. How can we stay compliant, ensure transparency? How can we be accountable at the end of the day? And this is my first message. I would like very much to share what we have been doing on this in Portugal. So Portugal has been developing what we call a company's 360-degree approach. So basically we are training companies and workers to have a greener activity, a corporate social responsibility approach, yes, a net zero and low carbon footprint. But we do have an issue. The tourism relies a lot on family-owned business. So we know that corporations, big names, big corporations, and we saw that in the panels, they are very committed. They even have a chief sustainability officer. But if you go to SME, a small and medium enterprise, then you have a problem. So basically, in our country, in Portugal, we have been facing this issue, and we are training people, not training the managers, the management level, but also the workers, and even the guests, because if you don't follow that path, you won't have guests, you won't have investors. Yeah, so I won't have business. And this is very much the first message I would like very much to convey to you. So we need to commit, yes, we need to execute, and we need to involve all stakeholders, because if there is no planning, there is no traveling. If there is no traveling, there is no business, and there is no Evra Forum, right, anymore. And we don't want that, that's for sure. The second message that I would like very much to highlight deals with workforce. A couple of panelists discussed the strength of the workforce. You know, this is a business from people to people. We talk a lot about the guests, the customers, the consumers, and we don't talk so much about the first ones, you know, the ones that work in the industry. And we know that, you know, after this pandemic, we are facing a huge issue because we don't have enough workforce, that's for sure. And so we need to integrate new people in the business. Portugal, again, has been very open, welcoming migrants. We believe that the tourism and migration are two phenomena related with globalization. And somehow they should be related, you know. Tourism contributes to migration, migration contributes to tourism. In one word, it contributes to our to protect our values, our identity. And so I would like very much to introduce this second message that deals with migrants. We believe in Portugal that migration makes important social and economic contributions to the countries, to our country. And so in Portugal, we have been working with migrants for a while now, training them, integrating them in the society, in the business. And we do believe that, you know, the equation is quite positive, the balance here, because, you know, providing migrants educational path, better conditions in the country, it also increases our visibility across the world. And so as leaders in the industry, and I'm not talking about only the public leaders, so the private ones, we are leaders, you know, so as leaders in the industry, you should also embrace this objective to integrate everybody in the business and to provide these workers the right conditions. The third message that I would like very much to convey deals with the following. We learned that from the panelists, we could experience a good dose of optimism, right? Everybody was talking about the numbers, about the future, the bright future of our sector. And as the vaccination rollout programs evolved across the world, better perspectives for the sector pop up, that's for sure. I guess that most of you know that Portugal now has the highest COVID vaccination in the world. More than 80% of our population have been fully vaccinated. These are impressive numbers, and of course we are quite proud on this. But as a leader, we should have the concern to eliminate, or at least to reduce the disparity in vaccination across the world. And this was one of the topics that was highly mentioned in one of the panels. We do believe that this is not only a political issue, this is something that we should embrace, that we should sort out, because again, we cannot talk about the future of tourism if there is no health to all of us. So I do call on countries not only to work on sustainability issues, environmental, social, and governance issues, on the workers, migration, and globalization effects, but also I urge all the countries to fulfill their dose sharing as far as the vaccines are concerned, in order to embrace this mission that we have in tourism, that we have to provide all the better conditions to everyone. Last but not least, I would like very much to congratulate the organizers of this Evra Forum. The job has been awesome, so you have done a great job. I would like very much to congratulate Alentejo for hosting us, University of Évora. It's amazing to be, to be in this space, to be in this room. University of Évora is one of the ancient universities in the country, in the world. So thank you again to the students, to the ones that we were behind the curtains over there, translators and all the staff that have been, trying to translate the good spirit and the good message that you try to convey. And last but not least, I would like to thank the speakers, the moderators, the hosts, done a great job. Thank you so much. And especially all of you that attended this meeting face-to-face personally, because we have been claiming that traveling and tourism is safe. We should resume traveling tourism. But if we don't visit the place, if we don't, if we don't travel, then it's very hard to set the example. So we should set the example. Thank you so much for coming, and I hope to see you next year safely. Thank you so much.